CM 365, all about Carnatic music.
Today we look into another interesting ragam, Brindavani or Brindavana Saranga. It is very interesting to see how at one point of time both the names actually refer to the same ragam. But over a period of time, we also see that Brindavani and Brindavana Saranga came to denote two different ragas. Of course, the movements of the ragams are similar, but today we have some minor changes which have happened to make them two distinct ragas. In the earlier treatises, we see that before the Chaturdani Prakashika, there is actually no mention of this particular ragam, which is again a derivative of the 22nd Mela Karahara Priya. And we see that in this Chaturdani Prakashika, it's mentioned as the Brindavani. And in the Sangeetha Sampradaya Pradarshani of Subbarama Dikshadhar, we see that this comes under the Sri Raga Melam, mentioned as a Deshya Ragam, as a Upanga Ragam, which takes only the Kaisiki Nishada, like Sa Re Ma Pa Ne Sa Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Ga Sa. There is a slight inclusion of the Gandhara at appropriate places. You would see that. But the first point here is about how the Re and Ni, though it is very similar to Madhyamavati, the way the Re and Ni is oscillated makes it totally have a distinct color as part of Brindavani Saranga. The Re is Dhirga, the Re is straight, and the Ni is also having a long kind of character here, and both of them are used in a jaru or a gliding manner, and that makes it very distinct, like Sa Re Sa Re Ma Pa Ni Pa. And the opening phrase of the wonderful composition of Dikshadhar gives us a absolutely straight kind of initiation into how the Re should be for Brindavana Saranga, like Ranga Purave Hara Shri Ranga Re Sa Purave. So how you see that the notes are actually gliding from one note to the other, and that gives it a more kind of Hindustani feel, because we all know that the jaru is a predominant gamakam used in Hindustani, and that has been incorporated beautifully by Dikshadhar to give this flavor to it. Now coming to the use of the Gandhara, again here also we see how aesthetically Dikshadhar does not use it in anywhere and everywhere, but only very sparingly in some places. For example, where he takes the composition in the same Rangapura Vihara, we see Sadaya Panga Satsanga Sadaya Garisa. There the Garisa comes. Or in another place you can see Sankata Harana Govinda Venkata Rigari Venkata. Like this, you see that in certain places the Gandhara is incorporated into it, thus making it a distinct Brindavana Saranga of the Dikshadhar school. Why I am saying Dikshadhar school is because of the fact that here we see that though the Sangeetha Sampradaya Pradarshani mentions about this Brindavana Saranga, and here we see that thus because of this factor, this Brindavani, Brindavana Saranga, all of them actually denote somewhat the similar scales only as mentioned here. And we see that another example we can take is Saundara Rajam, where Saundara Rajam, in that the Re Ga Re Re Sa. So again the opening phrase itself makes gives us that Re Ga Re Sa, that phrase is there in that particular song. And of course both the songs beautifully incorporate the Mudhra. Brindavana Saranga. So in this song also, and even in Saundarajam, you see the incorporation of the word Brindavana Saranga. Now, why I am mentioning this is not just because of the fact that the Raga Mudhra has been included, but also is an indication of how Dikshidhar wanted to address this Ragam. It's clearly indicated in the lyrics itself that he wants to coin it as Brindavana Saranga only and not as Brindavani. So this is again a great piece of information that we get from his compositions. Now coming to the same Ragam, Brindavani, as used by Tyagarajar, we see that Tyagarajar actually did not make use of that Gandhara. It was like Sari Ma Pa Ni Sa, Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Sa only, like Sari Ma Pa Re Sa, Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Sa. And interestingly, here also we see that earlier this Tyagaraja's composition Kamalapta Kula Kalashabdi Chandra that he composed in Brindavani, it only had the Kaisiki Nishada in both the Arohanam and the Avarohanam. And it was only later on it became some kind of a Bhashanga Raga, using like the Hindustani kind of a character. Like how or who changed it, I really do not know, but it has undergone change, like Sa Re Ma Pa Ni Sa, Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Sa. So where the Kakali Nishada comes in the Arona, and the Kaisiki in the Avarona, and becomes like Sa Re Ma Pa Ni Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Sa Kamalapta Kula Ni Sa. There itself you see that the Kakali Nishada has been included. Kala Shabdi Chandra Kavavayanano. So in both the, you see that both the Nishadas are given equal importance, and that is how the Brindavani of Tyagaraja has been formed. Now coming to the another composition, you can see a composition of Swati Tirunal again in the same way of incorporating the Brindavani as a Bhashanga. Chaliye kunjanamo o tum hum mil shyama hari. Or another popular composition of Periyasamy Thuran, Kali Yuga Varadan Kan Kanda Devamai Kakshiyali Pad Padanile Kali Yuga Varadan. So like this is really a very distinct kind of a ragam, in the sense that Brindavani, Brindavana Saranga, both actually denoted somewhat the same kind of scale at one point of time, and it did refer to the, it was a Upanga Ragam. And over the course of time, we see that this Brindavana Saranga became a distinct thing as raga belonging to the Dikshidhar school. Brindavani became another ragam with a Bhashanga character. Probably again the influence of the Hindustani system or whatever. So the Tyagaraja's Brindavani became some kind of a Bhashanga Raga incorporating both the Nishadas. And Brindavani today of course also refers only to this kind of a raga where you have Sa Re Ma Pa Ni Sa Ni Pa Ma Re Sa. Isn't it really very interesting to see how ragas change their nature and derive new color through age and time?
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.